Welcome to another edition of Mark's Inspiration. Got the D-Man here, and I'm glad you could join me today as always. Smash that like button and subscribe. Share this with a friend if you find it of value and you think it will help them. Today's topic is going to be dread game and texting. I'm going to I'm going to mix that up a little bit. I found this article, and also this morning I was helping a man. He was talking about texting and how much time it took, and he didn't want to play the game of waiting 6 hours if it took her 6 hours to get back. And as I told him, you need to be the game. It's not a question of whether, let me see, she sent me a message an hour ago, I'm going to wait an hour. Sure, you can do that, but it has to be that it's not that important. Like, you see the message, it took her a few hours to get back with me, I'll get back with her later. You don't make a big deal about it, because women can feel that if it's too important to you. It's just a message, okay? It's just a message. Doesn't mean anything, it's just a message. You are a man, you have bigger fish to fry, as we say. You should have goals, missions, purpose that you're focused on that are much more important than any girl's message. I don't care if you're in love with her, whether she's your wife, or whatever. You have bigger goals, bigger visions, bigger purposes to occupy your time and attention. She's just a woman. And there are millions of women throughout the world who would love to get a text from you, who would love to speak to you, who are beautiful, who would love to have a man like you. You need to remember this. There is no one. I'm telling you, I've been married 4 times. I've been with many women, and there are many ones, okay? So never think that the one that you're going out with is the one. They can all be replaced. Look how easily they can replace you. Well, if you're a high-value man, high status, you can replace her easily. I'll guarantee you. Unless in your mind you think she is irreplaceable. Then if you believe that, guess what? She is, because you will never take any action to replace her. So let's go on with texting and dread game. What is dread game? Well, let's read and find out. Dread game is an approach that applies a certain degree of fear of loss or competition anxiety in an interaction or a relationship. Dread is used to indicate or remind someone of your value. Yes, the first person who needs to know your value is you. Because if you don't know your value, no one else is going to. You project a certain value from yourself. Let's call it a charisma, an aura of value. If someone is devaluing you or disrespecting you or treating you badly, it's because first, when you looked in the mirror, you didn't value that person you saw looking back at you. Remember that. People reflect back to you the persona or the aura or the conception you have of yourself. They are messengers. So if you're being devalued, look within yourself. How are you devaluing yourself? Okay. Dread is used to indicate or remind someone of your value, as I said, usually by showing that you're willing to remove yourself from a situation, walk away, or seek another option as a replacement in order to gain more power or respect in the power dynamic that is a romantic relationship. Dread can be applied in any sort of connection where value and investments are involved. But this article discusses dread game in a man-to-women context, where the investment is emotional and the value is sexual. Why do you need dread game in a relationship? And this is something people get all hung up on. I don't want to play games. I don't want to play games. I just want to be honest. I just want to be myself. Well, these things are just techniques that you learn or that you have inherent within you. Probably most of us know how to do this. how to do this. If we would just do what we felt naturally to do. But we're so afraid of losing her attention, losing her approval, that we don't do this. For example, let's say you're texting a girl and you text her and you're having a conversation. And all of a sudden she just disappears. Things were going good. She gets back to you 6 hours later. Now, do you just answer her right away? Hey, what happened to you? I was wondering where you went. Wrong mistake, wrong thing to do. Big mistake, because that shows you as being needy. Because guess what? If you do that, you are needy, or you're concerned about her. Either way, it's just the way they view it. But how do you feel about yourself? Why were you sitting around for 6 hours just waiting for her to send you a message back? Don't you have something else bigger? Don't you have bigger fish to fry? Don't you have more important things to do? Because when you answer her right away like that, it really does show her that you have nothing more important to do than sit and wait for her message. So when we're talking about these things, I'm talking more about being the man that has more important things to do, that is not sitting around just waiting for one girl to text him. I've done that when I didn't know any better. I just thought that was how you were supposed to be, okay? I guess I knew inherently that it wasn't. But anyway, I made the mistake. I've since learned. And that's what you must do. When you've made mistakes, you look at them, take the other person out, quit blaming, and try to figure out what you did wrong. Okay? I had made this girl too important in my life. Was she the most important thing in my life? No, she wasn't. There was something else that was more important than her. But I projected that to her, that she was the most important thing in my life. So it didn't matter either way whether she was or not. I eventually had to walk away from her and show her that she was not the most important thing in my life. But I let it go too far. I should have pulled up the reins, so to speak, much earlier, and I didn't do it. But if I had, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be able to share with you what I'm sharing with you. We will continue. The power dynamic will obviously vary from one connection to the other, but if you look at all the healthy, functioning, long-term relationships, you most likely find that it's usually the masculine man is the one who holds more power in the relationship. Now, some women will cringe about that, when, oh, the man's dominant, he wants to control. Someone controls the frame, whether it be the man or the woman. And 99.9% of the time, the woman does not want to have the power in the relationship, although she always seems to be grasping for it. And if you're being weak by waiting for her to text and wondering when to text, and it goes on forever, making it so important. I've seen so many guys posting things that, and I've done this too when I didn't know any better, that putting so much emphasis on what was being text or messaged. Texting and messaging is just used to set up a time to meet, okay? Or if someone is in another country, you can occasionally text back and forth. But what is the point? Are you going to have a text ship or a phone ship? No. If you're not meeting, why would you be talking every day by text messaging? Don't you have something else to do until the time comes when you can meet her, or you two can get together? Maybe she's coming to your country and you guys can meet up, then you set up a date, and then you talk. If you spend all your time texting and messaging, what are you going to talk about when you get together? You will have nothing to talk about because you've been doing it all by texting. I mean, if you want a superficial text ship or phone ship, fine. I know there's guys that like that, but that's not what I want, and I doubt if that's what you want, or you would not be listening to me. You need to be so busy that you're not worried about this. As I said, when to text, when not to text. If she waits a day to text you back, just wait a day or 2 days to text her back. I mean, what's the big deal? Apparently she's not too interested in talking to you, so why should you be more interested than her? You need to back off. If she backs off, you back off. It's really not something you have to, you just, okay, I'll text her back in 2 days or 3 days or a week. What does it matter? Are you afraid of losing her? Well, I'll guarantee you, if you're afraid of losing her, you will act on that fear, and you'll be texting her all the time, and you will drive her away. That's what happens. Whatever you fear, you will draw to yourself. The same as with faith. Whatever you believe to be true, you will draw that to yourself. Whether it be what you're afraid of, or whether it be what you desire. The focus of that is your choice. You always can choose what you focus on. Whatever you focus on expands in your life. So focus on becoming the man that is too busy to worry about when to text or when not to text. And when he texts just because he has some good news to share, or he's setting up a time to meet the girl. Okay, simple as that. All right. This is exactly the power dynamic. This is exactly how male-female relationships have formed over the past hundreds of thousands of years. Okay, there's a power dynamic there. The woman does not want to be in control. And if you're all worked up about when she's texting, when you should text, and the like, she's going to feel that, even through text messages. And you know what she's going to feel? She's going to feel weakness. She's going to feel a person who's seeking her approval, who's seeking her attention, when in reality, she should be seeking your approval and your attention. The masculine man leads and protects while the feminine woman nurtures. Now, today's society teaches us that, well, it should be equal. We should be the same. That this is outdated and old because they think they're protected by the police, by the government, by whoever. Okay, but when the burglar breaks in the house at night, guess what? The police can't get there. Guess who is expected to get up and go down there and confront the burglar and protect his woman and his family? The man. Okay, that's the way it is. When it comes right down to the nitty-gritty, the bottom line is you're the man, be the man. Whether it be in texting, messaging, out on the street, and an assaulter comes up to confront you or your woman, you are the man, you stand up. There's no equalism there, okay? And if you can't do that, you're not much of a man. But guess what? If you can't, you can learn. You can become that man. Not just for your woman, but for yourself. All these things build you up on the inside. So you can be the man who really doesn't care if she texts you back in an hour or a day or ever. That's where you have to get to, where it doesn't matter to you. Sure, you want her in your life, but if she doesn't want to be, next. Comply or goodbye. And that is the strongest position you can have. People are always trying to figure out how I can get women. How do I get women? Become the man that all men want to be like, and become the man that all women want to be with. And that starts inside of you. Inside of you. By making more important your vision, your goal, your purpose than anything else. Women love a man with purpose. They love a man with vision. They love a man who's doing something, who's making a dent in the universe, as Rich Cooper says, who's accomplishing something, who has better things to do than sit around and try to figure out how to get a woman, or when to text, or if she likes me or not. Try to figure out if you like her. When you approach a woman, try to figure out if you are going to like her. Is she going to be high enough to fit your standards? That's the way you need to approach. Don't be going up to women thinking, well, I wonder if she's going to like me. Did she like me? Did you like her? Who are you? Remember who you are. You are a man. You are the man that founded nations, that conquered, that destroyed, that killed, that built, that explored, that invented. You are one of those men. Think about yourself like that, because you will be what you think yourself to be. As Marcus Aurelius said, a man's thoughts color his life. That may not be verbatim, but that's the message. Okay. I hope this has been of value. Share this with a friend. Smash that like button. Subscribe. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day.